a bunch of people got early access codes for God of War, and they've been playing it and feeling out what the game is like. And they were just allowed to publish some impressions. And out of those impressions, it just sounds like everybody freaking loves it. So yeah, these are a couple screenshots similar to what we've already seen, but these are apparently just from the first few hours. The game looks really good. Apparently they released some more info about performance modes, including like a 4K native, a 60 FPS update, or a 60 FPS mode for performance. Favor resolution high frame rate on, 4K at 40 FPS locked, or favor performance high frame rate targeting 120 FPS, which is why it's always so funny when studios are like, yeah, we just can't, like, we can't manage. There was simply no way. There was no way. There was no way. But I mean, you see, when you build the game from the ground up with the, like, with the goal of hitting this, you can manage it. I will say with the Gotham Knights thing, it really just seems that issue is because the game just runs really poorly. And so they were like, yeah, we can't crank it to 60 just because we can't. The game barely runs at 30. So like, what do you want from us? Whereas this, it seems like they're confident enough to do this. And the other thing is, they sent the first round of review codes out for God of War Ragnarok a solid 3.5 weeks before launch. That's insane. Okay, I think my Assassin's Creed Valhalla review code, I received that a solid like 4 days, 3-4 days before launch, and that game is like 100 hours long. So like a lot of the time it can partially because they want to kind of screw you over a little bit. That's what the big problem with Cyberpunk 2077 was, is they sent review codes really late. They didn't allow you to use any of your own captured footage in your review, which is insane. Like, yeah, you can do a review, but you basically can't show anything you collected. Like, if that doesn't tell you, yeah, we're kind of worried about this, you know, that is a big ass red flag. So with God of War, though, it's the polar opposite. They're sending this out weeks in advance, and they're like, yeah, if you want to play through it 3 times for your review, go for it. And honestly, that's probably what some of these guys are going to do. They're just going to play and replay and play and replay. I mean, if I got the review code 3 weeks ahead of time, you better believe we'd have like a 2-hour critique going up on the day. Like, it would be total overkill, but we would do it. No, I don't want to see stuff about Kanye. Believe it or not, I don't care, even though I have this on the soundboard.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Why? I don't know, but I have it. Jason Schreier, I haven't played enough God of War Ragnarok to offer any impressions yet, but one cool thing is that when you start it up, you're immediately given billions of options for accessibility, from button remapping to audio cues to high contrast presets. Should be an industry standard. I will say that I do think that's great. I'm really interested in how this 120 FPS mode works. But what that tells me also is if it's that scalable, I would imagine this thing runs like a dream on the Steam Deck. Like when they eventually port it to PC, oh baby. Oh baby. Being able to play God of War 2018 on the Steam Deck was trippy as hell. Because it's like this, it feels like this shouldn't be happening. But you can do it and it's great. I'm very curious how Ragnarok is going to run on a PS4. Well, that's what makes me think that it will run well on the Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck basically runs like a PS4, like a base PS4 or Xbox One. And so if it can run on a PS4, it can run on something of the caliber of the Steam Deck. So I'm pumped for when they eventually bring it. Assuming the game's good. Like maybe the game sucks or totally miffs it in the last act. Who knows? The one thing with this game is the hype is so big and high, and it's polished. The initial reviews, just so everybody is aware, the initial reviews are going to be crazy good, okay? Like, let's just be real. This game was never going to review poorly. So does that mean that the game is going to be perfect or it's not going to have issues? Well, of course not. There are some issues. But or there's always issues. No game is perfect. But that's why, like, for a big critique from me, from Joseph Anderson, from those other guys, we're going to be taking maybe a month or two before it comes out to let the emotions settle. Just like with Elden Ring, on launch day, if you tried to critique or criticize anything about Elden Ring, you would get torn apart.